Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing my last wrap up of 2014, and that is so crazy to think about. This year flew by so quickly, and tomorrow I am leaving to go back to university, and it is a 14-hour drive, so today is going to be a pretty busy day. But I read a few 9 books I think in December. I did not reach my Goodreads challenge for this year, which was to read 100. I think I got 95 or 96. I'm still pretty happy with that. I did have a busy year, especially in December. I ended up working over 40 hours a week and I just did not have time to read. I got so tired. So I will have a brief January TBR, but I don't know what January is going to look like with classes starting and stuff, so I'm just going to take it slow. And yeah, let's get into the wrap up. So the first book that I read in December was How They Met and Other Stories by David Levithan. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't my favorite David Levithan book I've ever read, but it wasn't my least favorite either. It was okay. It wasn't really that quick of a read for me just because I have been so busy, and it's just a bunch of short stories and such inside, and some of them I enjoyed more than others, so for that aspect it was just a 3. The second book that I read this month was Page by Page by somebody, I can't remember the author off the top of my head, but I read this for our month of a year-a-thon, which was to read a graphic novel, comic book, mangas, children's books, etc. And I got this from the library, but I did really enjoy it. I give it 5 out of 5 stars, and I think it's something I would read again. It is about a girl who moves to New York with her family, and she's very artistic, so it's kind of her fitting in, and it's her drawing the story almost herself, and it was very well done. The art was fantastic. So if you're looking for a good graphic novel to read, I highly recommend this one. Then I read Angus, Thongs, and Full Frontal Snogging by Louise Renison. This is the first book in the Confessions of Georgia Nicholson series. I believe this is a 10-book series, and I ended up giving this book 2 out of 5 stars. I didn't find it funny. I found it kind of angsty, and I guess I just can't read books told from like pre-teens or young teens because I just can't stand young teenagers anymore. Just the emotions and the stupid drama and stuff. I'm just over it. The next book that I read was Brunette Ambition by Leah Michelle. I am so glad I finally picked this book up. I love Leah Michelle so much. I find her so inspiring, and I love her tattoos. So she does a lot of good, and I think I gave this 4 out of 5 stars or 5 out of 5 stars. Either way, I loved it, and I'm definitely going to be trying some of the recipes and her beauty tips and all that stuff, so can't wait. Then I read Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, and this was my first Colleen Hoover book. I have heard fantastic things about this author, and I finally understand the hype. I loved this book so much. I only gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, but it's like a 4.5 because there were parts where the girl character, Tate, kind of annoyed me, and it's like she didn't seem to understand why Miles didn't want to tell her things, and she didn't understand, and she was just taking it all so personally. It's over a 4, that's for sure, and it was so good. So it is new adult, and a summary without really spoiling it is it's kind of like a Friends with Benefits book, and it was really good. So I totally recommend this book, and I can't wait to read more by this author. Then I read Dancing Carl by Gary Paulson, and I've read Hatchet by this author I think 2 or 3 times, different reasons for school, and this one is about 90 pages. It is extremely short, but it took me 4 or 5 days to read, and I could not get into the story. I didn't like it at all. I gave it 1 out of 5 stars, and that is the second book ever I've given 1 star to. So I won't be keeping it, I won't be rereading it, I don't recommend it. End of that. I started a new series I've been wanting to read for a while, and that is the Janie series? Janie Johnson series? Anyway, the first book is The Face on the Milk Carton, and the second one is Whatever Happened to Janie, both by Carolyn B. Cooney. And this series is about a girl who is sitting in the cafeteria with her friends one day at lunch, and she discovers like when they put missing children on milk cartons, she recognizes the picture as herself when she was 3, so 12 years ago. And it's kind of just her figuring out the mystery of kidnapping and what really happened and all that stuff. So it was good. They are very quick reads. The font is huge. So I believe it's a 5-book series and I have the other 3, so I will probably be picking them up soon, but 3 out of 5 stars to both. And then the last book that I read this month, and probably the last book I'll finish in 2015, I don't think I'm going to finish another book today, was Amulet by Kazu Kibushi. This is the first book, and I guess the Amulet series, so this one is called The Stonekeeper, and it is a graphic novel, and it is very well done. The art is fantastic. And the story ended up being a lot darker than I thought it would be, even though I think this is middle grade, because the kids are young and basically they move into this new house and it is their great-grandfather's house, and he was kind of odd according to their mother, and then strange things start happening and they have to fix it and get everything back to normal, and it ended very well, so I can't wait to read the second one, and I give this 4 out of 5 stars, if I haven't said that already. So those were the 9 books I finished this month, and now we get on to my currently reading and then brief TBR. I'm trying to make this video as quick as possible for you guys, so. The first book that I'm currently reading is Skinny Bitch by Rory Friedman and Kim Barone. This is just kind of like a health novel. I don't know, it's kind of like the truth in different things, and I'd been vegan before and given up meats and all that stuff, so this is just interesting to see how the food industry really works and different things. Yeah, so it's pretty good. I'll probably end up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars, but I'm only halfway through, so we'll see what happens. And then I'm also finally reading Demon Glass by Rachel Hawkins. I really wanted to get this book in hardcover to match my other ones, but I couldn't find it in hardcover anywhere, online, everywhere, nowhere. So I finally got around to buying the paperback, and I'm probably going to start it today just because I really enjoyed Hexhall, and I can't wait to see what happens with this series. So then I have 2 books on my TBR, but I will be filming a video talking about which books I will be bringing to university with me, so then I will be reading those for the next 4 months that I'm there, for when I finish in April. And the first one I'll be reading this month is The Book Thief by Marcus Suzak. I have tried to read this before. I got 100 pages in and put it down. So I don't know. This was voted to as our group choice for a year-a-thon, so you guys are gonna inspire me to pick it up and read it again, and we will see what happens with that. But I mean, it wasn't bad, and I've heard great things about it, but I just couldn't get into the story, so we'll see. And then the second book is one I'll actually be listening to an audiobook for my drive to university, and that is I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella. I've heard fantastic things about this author, especially in her audiobooks, so I got it to listen to while I drive to school for 14 hours. So yeah, I hope I enjoy it, and I've been wanting to read it for a long time, so this should inspire me to read it and enjoy it. And I'm probably going to bring the hardcover with me just in case I don't end up finishing it on my drive, and then I can just finish the hard copy. So that is it for my wrap up of December and my last wrap up for 2014. I will do an overall video of what my 2014 goals were and if I achieved them, and then what my plans are for 2015. So yeah, I have lots of videos coming, but they will probably all be in the same outfit and stuff because for some reason I can't upload from my laptop, so I need to get all my videos filmed and uploaded now before I leave. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you again for 2,000 subscribers. I hope you had a great 2014 and an even better 2015. Be safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.